Elon Musk just spoke at a rally in Green Bay, Wisconsin, and I think it's safe to say he went after George Soros in the most insane way possible. And in this video, I'm going to show why things might be over for politicians like Nancy Pelosi and puppet masters like Soros. We're also going to cover some other really insane stories, so buckle up because it's going to be a wild ride. But before we begin, let me just show you something.
This is Graham Avenue, Maslow, here in Brooklyn. So look at this. Look at what this is in Brooklyn, Williamsburg, Brooklyn. Who will kill Elon? What the heck is this?
So basically, we have someone who is putting up signs looking for volunteers to kill Elon Musk. And usually Elon is pretty chill about all the threats he receives.
And there were quite a few death threats, I have to tell you. I was like, my security team said, well, it's actually gone down from yesterday to today. It went down from 18,000 to 17,000. So I'm like, oh, maybe it's getting better, you know?
But it looks like he finally snapped. I've already told you how a lot of these protesters are paid by George Soros-backed groups. Well, this is how Elon responded when one such protest interrupted him.
Yeah, it's really wild. So, I mean, it was inevitable that at least a few Soros operatives would be in the audience. Give my regards to George. Say hi to George from me. USA, 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 USA. USA. Yep. I mean, it was inevitable.
He also seems ready to fight Soros with money, since that's the only way you can fight off people like George Soros who can throw millions upon millions of dollars in midterms to get what they want. And people around Soros have been pretty clear about their intentions as well.
It really is. It's a moment in the world where we're being called on to redesign the world. All of us, in whichever space we occupy. This is a time where what we do now will shape the next 50 years. And so the design school is the best place to have a discussion about the state of the world, even though it wouldn't have been obvious at first glance.
So it kind of makes sense that Elon has offered to pay up to $1,000 to anyone who supports Brad Schimmel in the Wisconsin Supreme Court election. In a series of X posts, he explained this offer by saying, "You could make over $1,000 in one day just by getting out the vote in Wisconsin." He continued in another post by saying, "Easiest money you ever made. You don't even need to be from Wisconsin. You just need to get people in the state to hold a picture of Team Schimmel. Can be on a phone device or paper in one hand and go thumbs up with the other hand. Every time you do that, you get $20 and they get $20. The goal is to build awareness about the election tomorrow, so this offer applies to today and tomorrow. And to make things clear, this offer is valid still because the Wisconsin election is taking place today. Now, you can like this tactic or hate it, but you can clearly see that Elon is now serious about dealing with these puppet masters. Now, he didn't just go after Soros, he also took a swing at the Fed.
Second of all, my question is, what is your opinion on the Federal Reserve, and do you have any intentions of doing anything with them?
And the Fed! Yeah. I don't know, I always wanted to say that, you know. But I mean, I think there's like 20,000 people that work at the Fed. Seems pretty high. It's like there's a lot of people that work at the Fed, and it seems like, why do we have so many people at the Fed, and what do they do? And you know, sometimes I wonder which one would win. You know, the federal for interest rates, the board of the Federal Reserve, or a magic 8-ball. And I'm like, I think the magic 8-ball might win. You know. So then I'm like, well, Magic 8 Ball is a lot cheaper. So it's like you shake it, it says, check back again later. I'm like, okay.
Look, clearly it's the president who can really deal with the Fed, but this small statement tells me that just like USAID, Elon and Doge believe the Fed is wasting a lot of money, which means it could very well be on the chopping block. And it would be a good thing because the Fed has nothing to shield us from inflation. In fact, its money printing policies during the pandemic have only made us poorer.
I was going to start out this video by saying, I don't know who needs to hear this, but I know exactly who needs to hear this. The mainstream media who's lying to us, the politicians who are lying to us, and the idiots who believe that bull. Tariffs do not cause inflation. Tariffs just make things cost more. But that's not inflation. Inflation is the devaluation of your money. It's worth less because it's printed on paper. It's not backed by gold. That's what causes inflation. All those checks that you got during the pandemic, that causes inflation. When we send money to foreign nations and we don't have gold to back it up, that causes inflation. Tariffs just raise the prices of certain items or certain items from certain nations. It's not on everything. Inflation is.
And he also talked about one other issue that has plagued this country.
A lot of strangely wealthy members of Congress, where I'm trying to connect the dots of how did they become rich while earning, how'd they get 20 million if they're earning 200,000 a year? It sounds, nobody can explain that. So something's, yeah, we're going to try to figure it out and certainly stop it from happening.
Look, as much as I like the fact that he's talking about it, this issue is so cut and dry that I'm mad no one is facing justice for it. I've already explained how Nancy Pelosi keeps using her position in Congress to get rich. I've also explained how people like Chuck Schumer are basically working for Wall Street. And yet, for some reason, the Republican majority in Congress is not interested in addressing this issue. Well, there are two major reasons for their complacency. First, Republican politicians are also heavily involved in insider trading. And there's also the fact that many of them don't really agree with Donald Trump or Elon Musk's vision. And you don't have to listen to me. Just see what Representative Tim Burchett has said about this.
I would warn y'all about being overconfident. They actually believe what they're saying. And I'm not sure if some of the people on our side do or not. I think they're just trying to stay in power. They're just trying to rise to the occasion that President Trump has put forth, and hopefully we can sustain that. But that's just a random thought. Thank y'all for sitting here.
Another story I want to talk about involves Virginia Giuffre, who I'm sure you know is an Epstein accuser.
Elon woke me up in the morning and said, "You're going to meet a prince today." I didn't know at that point that I was going to be trafficked to that prince.
In an Instagram post, she explained that she'd been in a car crash and had suffered kidney failure after the crash. She also explained the doctors had given her only 4 days to live. Now keep in mind, she's the same woman who had accused that Epstein had forced her to have sex with Prince Andrew when she was underage. And now this woman is dying at a time when people are eagerly awaiting for the Epstein files. I don't know about you, but to me, that sounds rather suspicious. And also, many people have pointed out how her message is way too nonchalant for someone who's dying. Now, I'm pretty sure more information will come out about this soon, but it'll be insane if another person related to Epstein dies due to an accident. Let me know your thoughts about all of this in the comments down below. If you haven't already done so, subscribe to the channel, give this video a like, and be sure to tune in to tomorrow's video.